All right, let's do ZommieZommerson. Wow, I promised I'd try to get a couple done this morning. I did just eat an edible, so those usually take a little bit to kick in. But if I start acting goofy halfway through this, um, that's why. So, ZommieZommerson, interesting team I'm seeing. My league chat won't load, so if there's some trades that he's done that I am forgetting, I apologize. So let's just go through here. Devontae Adams, we all know, amazing player. When he's healthy, he's just insane. Look at these games. He's topped 40 twice this season, and he could do it any week. Especially, Aaron Rodgers is having a great year. I think we got 3-4 more years of high level production from this guy. So, not a bad pick here by any means. I think this was one of the better players left at this point in the first round. Whether you should have gotten a quarterback or not is an interesting discussion. Actually, now that I'm seeing this, you did make the trade for Allen, right? Yeah. Okay. If this would load, I'd be able to look at how you got Allen. But for now, we'll just say that you have Devontae Adams and Josh Allen. So two quality first round pick level players on your roster. Very nice start. Zeke is a good pick. I think I loved these two guys because of their youth in comparison, and Zeke has some serious wear on his tires so far in his career to this point. But he's 25 and he's great. I don't know how good he's going to play the rest of this season though, so that's an interesting point to look at. You could have gotten youth and better immediate production, I think, from either Clyde or Jonathan Taylor. But you went with like the more known commodity, which I can't criticize too heavily. Where is Zeke? Did you trade Zeke? Oh no, there he is. Okay. So yeah, it's these projections are optimistic. I mean, the Cowboys' offense has looked absolutely dreadful ever since Dak got hurt. So I don't know how much Zeke's going to be doing this year. So I would criticize this pick actually a little bit. Just in this kind of league, I'd rather have the youth. And if you argue it was a win now pick, well, in that case, I would counter that it's not looking good past couple weeks for Zeke. So interesting pick though. AJ Brown, great pick. He's who you traded for Allen, right? Yeah. Okay. And I think you traded some draft picks or something. I mean, really, that's pretty incredible value. I think Josh Allen is extremely valuable in this kind of league. One of the top 5 best quarterbacks to have. 24, looking good, getting better and better. Like I think his first 300-yard passing game was this year, and he's done it 3 times now, plus a 400-yard game. So he's improving massively, and I think he's a solid player. I don't think he'll ever be like real life elite, but he's fantasy elite, and that's all we care about here. And I think he's going to keep his position and everything. So that's pretty solid. DJ Moore's great. Only 23. I remember thinking he was going to be a superstar coming out of the draft. I wouldn't say he's reached that level yet, but I think that's more because of his quarterbacks than him. And I think he'll continue to be pretty good. And around this chunk of the draft, he's probably the best wide receiver you could have gotten right here, I would say. McLaurin, Ridley, Claypool, and Brown were all gone, so very good pick here. Gesicki may be a reach here. What made you want him, 25, over, say, even Hunter Henry, also 25, getting more targets, or even Jonnu maybe. Gesicki got 11 targets in this really weird game where he scored a ton of points. But other than that, he's averaging like 4 targets. And I think he's pretty good. And who knows, maybe Tua's going to be throwing it to him like crazy. And, we have the tight end premium, so that's playing in his favor too. But It's weird to me how far down Hunter Henry went. That's still weird to me. I would rather have Hunter Henry than Gesicki. And you could have and Jonnu went 2 spaces later, same age, and I would argue better quarterback, better offense. But the general idea of grabbing a tight end early-ish rather than waiting till down here was a strong pick, I think. I like the Baker Mayfield pick. I think that people have jumped on him pretty hard. He's had some bad games, obviously, but I think he's competent, and he will stay as a starting QB for a while. He's good enough to keep his job. Not good enough probably to like win a Super Bowl or something, but too good to be benched, really, which is an interesting, middle ground. But I think he'll be fine for fantasy in a super flex league. He's not a bad player to have. But Carson Wentz was right here though, man. You needed to go Wentz, I think. But the general idea of grabbing a QB here was fine, I think. Cooper Kupp, great pick. He's good. A bit inconsistent, but that's just kind of how things go when you have as many weapons are on the Rams and when you have, a coach like Sean McVay that likes to innovate and, try different things all the time. You take the good with the bad with him. You'll get your 26-point games. You'll get your 18-point games, but you got to be ready to take some force every now and then. And even that, there's only 2 like reddish pink boxes here where he was arguably bad. Snap percentage around 90. Maybe sometimes he'll get you even like a punt return TD or something. Not that I would use a player of his caliber as a punt returner personally if I was a coach, but that's how it goes. So I love this pick. No one I would take over him in the immediate afterwards. Doing good so far, especially when you consider that you were able to acquire Josh Allen to really shore up your quarterback situation. Matt Stafford, great pick at 8.5. Who would you take at the quarterback position after this? Absolutely no one instead. I mean, he's good. Still got probably 6 years of being good. What is this picture? That looks different than everybody else. Like everyone else is actually wearing their jersey, and it's like he's wearing just like a t-shirt. I don't know. He's been solid this year. No bad games, but no great game either. So that's interesting. But it's a super flex league, and you got a good quarterback at a pretty solid value, I think. So that's a good pick. I love Darrell Henderson as a pick. That's amazing value. This is one of the better picks that anybody made, I would argue. I don't know why he's so underrated among our league. But he's 23, and I think he's better than Cam Akers. And I think he's going to take this job and roll with it for a while. And you got him at 9.8. And that is awesome. Would I rather have Myles Gaskin? No. So, honestly, I think this is great. David Johnson's a pretty good pick, too. If you can't tell, I like Zommie's draft. He did really good, I think, all things considered. Especially, picking after and before, I guess, Not So Super, who had arguably the best draft. David Johnson's a really good pick for, he's not really good as a player really anymore, but he's really good value at 10.5, where I think you'll get a couple more years of him being a nice middle-of-the-road option. And most players in his tier were going more around here, I think. So you got him kind of like 2 rounds of good value out of him. So really nicely done there, I think. And, you have some good youth on your team. So you didn't need to grab like the rookie dart throw kind of thing like A.J. Dillon here. Like you got strong young receivers. You got your Josh Allen. You got your Baker. Henderson's young as heck. Zeke's 25 with a lot of work. But a few more years, certainly, I think he'll be good. So, yeah, really good pick here, I think, for the value you're getting. Philip Lindsay's pretty good. He kind of exploded onto the scene, and but it's the Denver clearly just does not trust him as their main back. I disagreed with their decision to bring in Melvin Gordon in the first place, but they just seem determined to not let Philip Lindsay have the the workhorse role. I don't know why. Every time he gets a bunch of carries, he looks pretty good. 9 attempts, 79 yards. You know, like his yards per carry through his career is close to 5. What more do they want? You know, so he's a better real life player than fantasy player, unfortunately, but still a pretty good pick, I think. Maybe you had plenty of. You traded away AJ Brown, so you got your trio of excellent receivers, and you're just trying to get running back depth. I like that a lot, and I also like the Corey Davis pick a lot. This is the second time I've accidentally clicked that. Where even was I? Where did Corey Davis go? Did I? What happened? Did Corey Davis get replaced with Deontay Foreman? Well, we all saw this on on the video. I'm going to keep this in the video. What the hell? All right, what is happening? I do not want to take Corey Davis off your team. Okay, he's still there. Am I going insane? I guess I'll refresh the page and see if... Who even is Deontay Foreman? I hope I didn't screw something up. We'll fix it when we get there, if it's screwed up. In fact, I'll go ask in the Discord right now if... No, I'll ask after the video. Okay, well, sorry for that, guys. I don't know what happened. Hopefully it's okay. So Corey Davis was a great pick, I think. I think he still has some potential. He wasn't being used correctly earlier in his career because they had, oh geez, that Oregon guy who flopped hard. But I think he could still come around. Tyler Higbee, pretty nice pick, I think. He's shown flashes. This 3-touchdown game was nuts. So, you know, pretty high snap percentage. Mostly a touchdown-dependent tight end. But, you know, you had Gesicki. So this is just depth. I'm super jealous of Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think he's a high-potential player. So if you see trade offers for me for him, I want him. Scotty Miller, another great pick. Bowling Green. That's where my dad went. Tom Brady likes him. Pretty decent target chunks here. There's so many, and he's doing that despite all the weapons in Tampa Bay, which is what's most impressive. If it thins out, this could be a super, super high value draft pick in the 15th round for you. Because he could be a legitimate piece, I think. And something's got to give in Tampa Bay. There's too many players there, you know. Jarrett McKinnon's okay. San Francisco's using him very sparingly now. I think they're worried about, like you see a 92% snap percentage and a bunch of usage, and then he fell off a cliff. And I think the 49ers are just trying to keep him upright, which I understand completely. So maybe not the best fantasy draft pick. I'd probably rather have someone like Penny or Edwards or Bernard probably or something. Maybe even Hasty. I see better long-term potential than McKinnon for San Francisco. Traquan Smith has gotten so many opportunities, I feel like, and just never seems to become consistent. Michael Thomas has been out all year. they signed Emmanuel Sanders and stuff, you know, and he just, you had your shots, man. So this player is frustrating, but not the worst pick once we're getting into the 18th round. James Washington is fine. David Njoku is very talented, but there's something off with him too. Like, they weren't even playing him here. Maybe he was hurt. He's made some famous catches. You could go look up like a Njoku highlight reel, and he's got some crazy catches. Boykin's a good pick, but I don't see the volume really for most Ravens receivers ever coming. Some solid picks here. Brissett's probably never going to be a starter anywhere again. And I like Jalen Guyton. He got a really, I think, a couple of big bombs from Herbert this year. Yeah, this 72-yard and like an 80-yard touchdown or something. So he's one to keep an eye on. Zay Jones is a flop. I think he was like a first-round draft pick at one point. So looking at the team, hopefully still with Corey Davis. I will refresh and make sure he's there. Yeah, he's in there. What happened? Anyway, you had a really nice draft, and I really like your trade to get Josh Allen. I don't really see a championship roster here necessarily. Maybe, though, if Josh Allen resumes his early season form rather than... He had a pretty great game against the Jets here. No, not really. No touchdowns. Hurts. But otherwise, he played well. But, you know, if he starts playing more like this, and Devontae Adams stays healthy, and maybe the Cowboys figure out how to get Zeke going despite no Dak, it could fight for the title. Definitely. Tua starts throwing to Gesicki a lot. Would that shock anybody? No, definitely not. DJ Moore will have better games than this. This could fight for the title. And in the long term, you got your quarterbacks. You got some receiver talent that's still got some years left. Got some running back talent with some years left. Gesicki is a good tight end to anchor that spot on your roster. You know, you got some quality pieces down here that are playable. It looks pretty good. Pretty good. I love some of these dart throw rookies down here. Like Peoples-Jones and maybe even like Greg Ward could break out a little bit. Scotty Miller, I really liked that pick. Maybe a little light on young running back depth. I don't know where this guy came from, but we could see it with him potentially in 3 or 4 years or something. So yeah, win now. It's probably like a B+. Probably a like low-end playoff seed. And long-term, probably like an A-. So I like this draft a lot. I think you did great. Hopefully Corey Davis is still on your team after I end this video. And yeah, good job.